Robert Morris head coach Bernard Clark Jr. The team played its first association game, came up short at Gardner-Webb this past weekend. They're going to be back in action. They're going to play Bryant, who is playing its first association game. So, Coach, thoughts about your team, and then we'll go to some questions.
This past Saturday went down there, started slow, and you can't start slow against a team who won the Big South last year. Those guys are champions. They know how to win games. We started out slow, gave up 21 points real quick, and then we tried to bring it on in the second half. It was a little bit too late. Only gave up 3 points in the second half, but didn't score anything, other than a scoop and score by the defense. So we got to put ourselves in a better position. We got to come out with more confidence and play a little more confident in the first quarter.
Thanks, Coach. We'll go to some questions. So I wanted to ask you about that. We've talked about quick starts or whatever before too. How much is that things Gardner-Webb did versus things that maybe you all didn't do?
Well, it was the problem was exactly start. We go out on offense, and the problem I talked about last week with you, Kyle, is the same problem. We go out on offense, we're moving the ball, we get a first down, illegal procedure. Now we're 1st and 15. So it's like, so now we got to get it off. We do a great job punting the ball, and we punt the ball. We put them inside the 10-yard line. First play, missed assignment. Second play, missed tackle. Third play, missed tackle. Next thing you know, block left. So that's the next defensive call. So it's one of those situations where the things have been plaguing us all year are still plaguing us early in the game. At some point, we got to put this thing together in order for us to try to win some football games here.
And then after, when you're down 21-0 after one, what did you think? How did your team respond the rest of the game? Were there things you were pleased with after that?
Oh, there's no doubt. I was happy with what they did after that, to be totally honest with you. They started playing well. The defense started tackling better. We started attacking. Still weren't scoring points like we needed to. Still making some mistakes on offense, but we're still holding them out of the end zone. That was the good thing about it. We only gave up 1 touchdown in the second quarter. Like I said, we only gave 3 points in the second half. So I was happy, but you know what happy means? Happy means at that time things was satisfying. So things weren't satisfying after the game was over. We lost the game, but at the same time, they did what they were supposed to do to keep them out of the end zone. Whereas if we go back to last year, they probably would put up 50 on us because our guys would have probably quit. So our guys did a great job of standing there and pushing themselves and giving themselves 100%. And I thought the guys continued to fight, which is what I enjoyed watching in that second half.
So tell me a little bit about Bryant then and what you've seen. They obviously had an open date, so they didn't play last week, but their first conference test this weekend.
Well, the thing about Bryant, they're an old foe. So we played Bryant, we're in the NEC, so we played Bryant a few years. But Bryant is always tough. They're a tough, hard-nosed team. Their offensive line is extremely huge. They do a great job. They got a quarterback who doesn't take he doesn't take minuses. He doesn't take losses. He always takes the profit. He does a great job of running that offense. He's been doing a great job running the offense. And receivers are the things that are the ones that make them go. The defense receivers do a great job of running routes. They're great with the ball. He throws them open when they're in man coverage. They can adjust to the ball where they do a real good job. Tight ends are huge. They got a great offense. And Coach Merritt Chris is going to do a great job of getting those guys ready to go and have them on top of their game. And their defensive interior, 2 guys inside, number 95 and number 9, the big, huge defensive tackles, do a great job of stabilizing that defense. They do a great job on defense of rallying to the ball and making tackles. They're a good, solid football team. And on special teams, they do a great job of getting down on kickoff and not letting you hurt them on special teams.
How much have they changed from last year? And I asked that because earlier Coach Lamb talked about how good a job you've done with the talent upgrades on your roster. How do you see like a team like Bryant? What have they done from last year to change their roster over?
I haven't seen them change their roster a whole lot, to be honest with you. They still got some of the same familiar guys they had last year. They're doing a great job getting out. Should I say they have some of the same familiar positions of guys that they did last year. And they're still doing a great job as a staff overall. I think they're still building. I mean, they're still every year because, again, they came from NEC like us, so they're still getting the scholarships together just like we did. So they're trying to build a thing, but they're doing a great job. And I think they've taken everybody to the wire. The thing about Bryant is they're going to fight to the end. The only team that really put it on them was UNLV. Other than that, I mean, they did a great job against Brown. Brown managed to score with a minute and something left. They did a great job against Rhode Island early in the game. I think in the second half or in the second quarter, they were up. They were ahead of them. So that was the crazy thing about that. They did a great job there against Rhode Island. The other game they won, I think they beat Princeton, then they beat LIU. But those guys did a great job of getting after people. They're going to play 4 quarters. There's no doubt about that. I know Chris is going to have those guys ready to play 4 quarters.
And they have a good quarterback too. And like you, your quarterback has been very efficient this year. Do we think it'll be more a passing game in this one? And I know it's whatever the defense gives you sort of thing, but you anticipate maybe a lot of passing both teams.
I don't know. To be honest with you, because I'm not sure of the weather right now, Cal. They're saying it's about a 75% chance of rain and supposed to be about 60 degrees. So I'm not looking forward to that weather. I can tell you that right now. So it's a situation, you know how I am. I'm a Florida guy, so I love the sunshine, but I'm not looking forward to that. But we'll see. It's a situation where the great thing about it, I think both quarterbacks have played in the cold and played in that type of weather. I know Chicken has all his life being here from Pittsburgh, so I don't think that's going to bother him. So I think it's more both teams are going to try to establish the run because, again, we're still trying to establish the run. We're still trying to make that a big part of our game. We still haven't gotten in there yet, but we got some guys we feel can get it going. They just haven't gotten it going yet. But we're going to still try to establish the run game, but still try to get the ball to Noah Robinson and some other guys on our team.
Now, Coach Merritt's complained about the weather all year, so he hasn't had good weather at all. So I know you like that South Florida weather.
But, Coach Merritt's from Miami too, so it's a
Houston.
situation. So when you're used to heat, you just like heat. My office stays hot. Everybody comes to my office, they're like, Coach, it's burning up in here. Yeah, and it's going to stay like that because I don't like cold weather. So it's one of those things. But I know Coach Merritt's going to have those guys ready to play. They're a good football team. They're a hard-nosed football team. And even though we've been fighting the last two games we've been in, we've come up short. So we got to figure out a way to make sure our guys play 4 quarters, which is what I feel Bryant's going to do because they always have. They're going to play 4 quarters. They're going to try to win. So we got to put 4 good quarters together and see if we can come out with a victory.
Coach, appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck. Best weather as possible too. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Cal. Let's go, Bobby Moe.